Okay, this video is for the lazy people that don't want to go through a full tutorial in learning the basics of Blender. So I'll just go roughly scrub through all the essentials of Blender. So this is the opening screen. As you can see, this is what I see. I'm using 2.90, so you can just click outside anywhere here, then it starts. This is what you get: a cube, a lamp, and a camera. Most of the times you delete the cube. That's Blender tradition, so you have to. And the lamp too, you add a new one later. So where we are in now is edit mode. You know what, let's add in the cube back. We're in edit mode. So right here you can't do anything to the cube, and this is how you edit. But the things you can only do to the cube is from these tools here. You can move it with this button, with this one here, but the shortcut is G, move it around. And you can also use this one here to move it around on the X, the Y, and the Z axis, which is the blue one. But the shortcut for that is R to rotate. Press R to rotate the box. Wait, let me just enable something here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, then you can also scale the box with these buttons here. Scale on different axes, X, Y, and Z. The Z axis isn't showing, but it's only the X and Y. X is the red one and Y is the green one. So these other two aren't that important. So if you want to edit the box, change the shape, change the size, extrude some parts, and do some other advanced stuff, you have to enter into edit mode, which is up here with this tab button, drop down here. What you're needing most of the time is this two. Don't worry about this till later on. Then you go into edit mode here, but you can also use tab to go into edit mode. Tab, it goes back and forth there. So right here now you have more options there. I won't go deep into that because this is just a scrub through. So here you can select each parameters of the object. So this is the vertex select. It's on vertex select now, so now you can click 8 vertex and move them around. By the way, if you want to move things around, you press G. It just moves on its own anywhere. It can go anywhere it likes. But if you constrain it to the X-axis, it moves only to the X-axis. But if you press Y, it goes only to the Y-axis, and Z, it goes only to the Z-axis. Then you can right click to cancel anything you're doing. Okay, that done, you can also select the edge select and go to select each edges. So now these are edges. The one I did before were vertices, and now you can do faces. So now you do all individual faces. You use all these respectively to the one that corresponds to what you're doing. So with that done, now we can go to everything you do on the object mode is also applies in the edit mode. Now you can scale each part. Scale only this face. Let's scale it only on the X-axis. So you press S and then you press X to scale on the X-axis. Right click to cancel. Then you press S again. You can scale on the Y-axis, but it won't do anything because it's a flat shape. But if you select more than one, which is, let's select this one, and this one under, you can scale on the Y-axis. That works well. So also scale on the Z-axis. Nice. Now that is done, let's cover one extrusion and some other ones. So if you click a face, it works with other things too, like edges and vertices, but let's use faces. If you click a face and press E to extrude, it will extrude on the normal where it is facing. I don't know if I should explain normals now because that is another part on its own. So extrusion is just to extend what you already have. If you click to edges now and click this one, now we can extrude. It will just bring out that part, extend it to somewhere. It will extend it to respectively to where you're facing on the mesh. Where if you extrude and constrain to an angle immediately, it will move respectively to the angle that you constrained it to. But you can also extrude, right click to cancel, and then move it. By the way, you can enable the move tool from here. I always do that from here and enable it. Okay, so as you can see, the cube is still the way it is. From here you can also add in the object mode, you can also add in new any shape you need. By the way, if you want to add a shape, it's shift and A, shift A. If you want to do that, you go to here and press add, and then mesh. Then you can see all your options right here. So I'm thinking that is all, but no. Besides all these things you can do here, scale and the rest, you can also do it in the object tab. This corner is the tab, like okay, let me just go through them one by one. This first one is for rendering, like when you want to render, you do all your settings here. Right now the render engine is on Eevee. You can go here and put it in cycles. Workbench, I don't really use that, it's not a render engine. So you can go to this dimension, is what you use to edit your picture parameters, the size and quality of your outputs. Then here is also where you arrange your layers and know which ones you want to render out. Those are all advanced stuff that you have to watch a separate tutorial for. Then this is to arrange your scene and organize them perfectly. This is for your world, your HDRIs and the rest. Then this is the object parameter, where you can also adjust the location on the X. As you can see, it's on the X. Then Y and Z, whatever. Okay, and this is rotation on the X, rotation on the Y, and rotation on Z. Then this is scale X, scale Y, scale Z. All this, any part of Blender you see something like this, you can also click it and change the number to whatever you want. In case you are given a number, you can change the number. Just move the location very far, so that's why it has gone somewhere I can't find anymore. So the next tab is the modifiers tab. You'll be using this a lot in Blender. So here you can use a lot of modifiers. I won't go through any one of that will be a separate tutorial. Here is the particle system, which you can use to do a lot of heavy work in Blender without actually modeling a lot of things. It's a little bit complicated, sure, but these ones are also this is the physics tab, where you can do a lot of amazing stuff that modeling cannot cover. Then this is the object constraint properties and the rest. This is vertex groups and whatnot. This here is what you use when you're adding materials. So you just click new and the rest. I can't go through that. So okay, it's frozen because I'm on Eevee. Let me quickly change the cycles. Okay, now all these tabs up here is for different modes of working in Blender. Right now you're in layout. I believe this is supposed to be only on object mode, but if you go to modeling, this will automatically take you to edit mode, so you can work on it. So instead of pressing tab, you can just go up here. And this is sculpting, in case you want to sculpt and do things. It's going to do anything now because the cube is very low poly. So this is UV editing, texture paint, shading. This is where people go when they want to give their scene a look. They're adding materials and the rest. Animation, rendering, compositing, and scripting. It all arranges to how a user would want it to be. But you can also do that by yourself by dragging up these windows and arranging them how you want them to be. This all depends on user preferences. So let's continue. Is there anything I need to cover? Anything? Let's see. Okay, this top here is how you arrange your objects. Like right now, if I duplicate this, okay, I need to talk about duplicating. You use Shift D to duplicate, Shift plus D to duplicate. Let me do that again, do that again, and do that again. Okay, so now all these objects are very separate. Imagine they're all packed together in one scene and you don't know which ones to select, and they're all mixed up. You can't select all of them, and you can't pick the exact one you want to select. So here is where you will need all those things. And actually you can also name them from here, so you actually know what you're doing. Double click and just write what you need. So in case you want to select it, just pick the one you named and you know the name, so just select and you got that. Select, got that, then you can just press G to move it out, just like that. Let me deselect and delete those ones. So let's, what else? Okay, this is the animation tab. Let's talk about animation. Yeah, this is the animation. Let's just go to the animation tab. So in case if you want to move this one, I'll just go to the basics of animation, nothing technical, nothing advanced. So this cube, I want it to go right here on its own. I want it to move to this spot here by itself. So what I'll do is come here, right click here, and since I'm dealing with the location of it, I'll moving it on the y axis. The green one is the y. So we'll come here to the object properties, and y location, we'll right click and then insert keyframes. That is already locked in, that recorded its position on this spot. So if you move the keyframe in forward in time, and you also move the box forward in time, this is where you want the box to be in this particular time. So you just right click again and insert keyframes. So that is your animation done. So this is the basics. This is how it's carried over to advanced stuff, little by little, small by small. Everything is carried, used in advanced stuff, just like that. So with that done, what else? In case you want to render, you just press F12, function 12, or you go to here, then render animation or image. Yeah, okay, I think I'm done. I think I am done. Okay, if you want to see what your camera is saying, you just press 0 to see that. If you want to move your camera, press N, then go to view, then camera view, you just G and move the camera about, or you can just move about, then wherever you move the camera is going to follow if you click this. But if you unclick this and you're going to move out of your camera, so 0, this, move, and the rest, just place that well. So but if you want to bring up that tab I did, press N. Hopefully you saw that here in the screencast key that's showing up there. So let's just do a quick render so you see what I mean. Bring this box up here and let's just render that. If you want to render your animation, you go into this tab here, the output properties, then you select where you want it to go. Let's just put that in pictures, blender pictures, and blender animations. Nice. Give it a name, accept. Although it's not showing on my screen right now, I'm sure you know what to do from there if you know how to use a computer. So let's just pick FFmpeg video, and that's pretty much all you need for the basic stuff. There are more to be done, but don't worry about it. So there are no materials on this thing, but let's just render it like that. Press Ctrl F12. Thanks for watching and see you next video.